What if your release is the reason you are stuck? Have you ever wondered why top athletes avoid sex before big games? This is not just superstition, they know something most guys ignored. That your energy is limited and where you release it matters. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt truly hungry for something? Like you woke up in the morning with that fire in your chest, ready to chase your goals. No distractions, no excuses. Because here is the thought, and that might side a little. What if the reason your ambition feels low, your focus is off and your discipline keeps falling apart? It's because you are releasing too often. And no, I don't just mean porn or flapping, I'm talking about any kind of ejaculation. Even sex with a partner when it becomes just a way to avoid stress, boredom or emotional pressure. It might feel normal, it might feel like a reward, but this is not. You're not just releasing, you're drowning your drive. And the part no one talks about. This is not about sex, it is not about guilt or shame. This is about your energy, your focus and your ability to stay hungry for the life you actually want. So in this video I am breaking down why most guys don't even enjoy their releases, they just use it to escape. How frequent ejaculation, yes, even healthy sex, messes with your brain and kills your drive. And what science says about how often you should actually release if you want to stay sharp, focused and be on fire. So let's dive in. Let's be real, most of the time you are not just chasing for a pleasure, you are running from the pressure. Let me ask you a question and be honest with yourself. How often do you jog off just because you are bored, anxious, overwhelmed? Not because you are turned on, not because you are feeling desire, just because you don't want to feel that you are feeling right now. It is not even about sex anymore, it becomes bottom. One quick click to numb your nervous system. Like, I feel pressure, let me escape. But here is the problem. The more you use ejaculation as the way to regulate stress, the more your brain learns that loop. Pain, release, relief. And that relief reinforces the habit. You're literally teaching your brain to avoid real emotions, real problems, real actions. In neuroscience, this is tied to something called negative reinforcement. You don't do the thing because it feels good. You do it to stop the discomfort. And over time that loop becomes stronger than your goals. And the worst part, you don't even feel pleasure after. You feel flat, empty, maybe even ashamed. Because deep down you know, you just traded your energy, your power and your focus for 10 seconds of relief. This is not pleasure, this is escape. And the more you escape like this, the less you believe in yourself. And the escape is not the only problem. Every time you release like this, you are teaching your brain where reward comes from. Your brain doesn't care what is good or bad for you, it just follows simple rule. Reward, repeat. So every time you watch porn and release, you are reinforcing a message. I don't need to earn this, I don't need to move, I don't need any connection. I just sit, click and reward comes to me. And over time that becomes habit, not just in your sex life but in how your brain handles everything. Work, discipline, learning, even your relations. You're craving instant hit and real life starts feeling too boring, too slow, too much effort. And that's how neuroplasticity works. Your brain wires itself about repeated behaviors. Neurons that fire together, wire together. In a 2014 study published in JAMA Psychiatry, researchers found that the frequent porn use was associated with less gray matter in reward-related brain regions like the striatum, and a weaker connection with prefrontal cortex, your brain's impulse control center. That means, the more you train your brain on artificial rewards, the harder it becomes to stay focused, to delay gratification and to chase long-term goals. And like Dr. Andrew Huberman says, when you constantly expose your brain to extreme stimuli, you raise the baseline of what it takes to feel pleasure next time. So your real life, like progress, love, health, building something new, doesn't hit the same. And the real question is, who is in control, you or your next release? Next point is the main reason why I am filming this video. What if I tell you that this tiny moment of pleasure is the exact thing stealing your drive? Have you ever felt like this? Because I did. You're finally locked in, focused, hungry, you're building something, business, body, habit, whatever. And then, boom, one session, you release, and suddenly all that fire, gone. Your brain's like, yeah, I will do it tomorrow. This is not just mood swings, this is biochemistry. Studies show that after education your body goes through a very specific cascade. First, dopamine drops sharply. Then, prolactin spikes, that's the hormone makes you feel full and finished. This combination literally tells your brain, stop pursuing, it is time to rest. Orgasm leads to elevated prolactin levels that suppress dopamine activity and motivation shortly after ejaculation, and it doesn't stop there. Testosterone, your natural drive hormone, also take a peak. This study shows that testosterone levels peaked on the 7th day of abstinence and then leveled off. So holding back for a week, that's when your fire actually builds. Another study found that after ejaculation there is a temporary dip in testosterone, and full recovery takes several days. So yes, this is not just about your release. This is hormonal shift from pursuit mode to passive mode. After all of that, no wonder that top athletes, boxers, fighters, football players avoid sex before big competition. And this is not just superstition, this is biology. They know you can't chase greatness with an empty tank. So, how often should you release? Let's cut the fluff. What the actual science says about that. Studies don't all agree, but overall the picture looks like this. There are 3 main scenarios. First, once every 7 to 10 days. This scenario is based on the study I showed you before. This is the sweet spot a lot of performance coaches, fighters and biohackers swear by. It gives your body time to rebuild testosterone, dopamine, energy and drive. Basically, you stay hungry. Second, once every 2 or 3 days. It is totally normal for healthy guys in relationships. It still gives your body a cycle to recover and not forget about your partner. Third, every day or multiple times per day. That's where things start falling apart. Studies linked it to dopamine desensitization, lower mood, procrastination and addictive patterns, especially if it's tied to porn use. That research found that heavy porn users had changes in their brain structure and motivation circuits, and this one shows links between compulsive porn use and low motivation, attention, and even sexual dysfunction. For more info about how porn affects your brain, you can watch my previous video by the link here. You will find a lot of insights up there. We are not just talking about sex here, we are talking about your energy. Let's zoom out for a second. This video is not about being anti-sex. It is not about guilt or shame or some purity mindset. It is about energy. The kind of energy that builds things, that gets the shit done, that pushes you out of bed at 6 a.m. when nobody's watching. Sexual energy is creative energy. Every culture, every ancient practice, from monks to athletes, understood this. When you hold it, when you channel it, it turns into focus, discipline, and clarity. But when you waste it on pixels, on autopilot release, on chasing that 10 seconds escape, you are not just losing your semen, you are drowning the exact fuel that could actually change your life. This is not about repression, it is about redirection. Because when you can control your release, you can control your mind, your goals, and your future. If this video hit home, don't just scroll it away. Sit with it and put a comment on how often you used to release and how it affects you. As I mentioned before, often release can be a cause of procrastination. If you feel the same way, watch my previous video, The Only Way, Stop Procrastinating. It will help you to deal with that feeling the next time it takes over. See you there.